Yes, I'm having a good day. Hope you all is well. Well, I see a few participants have joined the room, but again, we may have a few people coming on in later, and as they come, they'll just join the room. But I do want to go ahead and get started. I am recording this meeting, so if I'm hoping to be finished about 7:45, depending on how many questions you all may have at the end of the session. And also, if you want to go back and review the session, if you have to leave early, then I will record this session and send it as a link to you to come back and look at it. But again, I am Ms. Tucker. I'm your instructor for the CP270 course. I want to kind of go through a couple of things. I decided to do this online meeting. Actually, this is my first one doing it with the online class. And the reason that I'm doing it is because I've had so many online students who have said that they've had a problem with online classes because they didn't get the feel of the instructor face to face, or um, they had questions. They rather just see the instructor or talk to the instructor. So what I have decided to do is just for this first week only, uh, just to get everybody acclimated and answer a lot of questions to get you started, because most people have those questions at the beginning of the term. And I've also set aside a time on Wednesdays during the daytime where it's not required. You won't be graded on it. You don't be pressured to feel like I have to be there. But what I have done is set aside a time uh, around about from 10 o'clock till about noon, 2 hours, that I'm going to be in the meeting room. So if anybody have any questions during that time, or they want to talk to me, or they like, I'm trying to reach my instructor, that will be a good time to come into the meeting room. I used it last week, this week, I'm sorry, this week, and I was able to work with someone one-on-one. So if you need that, I won't be able to do it all the time. That's at different times. That's why I set up a block of time to do it. But what I want to do, okay, Michael, you asked, where is the meeting room? You're actually in the meeting room. Can you see me? Can you all see me? Okay, good. So the meeting room is actually online. It's not actually a physical room that you actually go into. When I say meeting room, I mean the online room. Okay, where you can see me and hear me, and I see that you all are there. I can't actually see you, but later on, after I go through some of the stuff, if you want me to enable your camera, I can do that. If you want to put your face up there too, so you can kind of see who's in the classroom. But as of now, no one is actually being videoed or being able to see anybody but me. But just to give you a little tour around, at the very top of your screen, you should see some little icons. You have one with the little green speaker to adjust your speaker. You have one with the microphone where you're able to speak with the microphone. And you should have something with a little man with his hand raised if you choose to raise your hand, or you can type into the chat window and I'll answer as we go. Okay. Now, you don't see a web camera because I haven't enabled your web camera. But if you want to put your camera, put your face up, and we could do that too. So you don't have to use the web camera. You could just chat. Okay. So you don't have to use the. What I will do. What I just did was enable the camera for you. So now you should see a fourth icon up there that has a camera, which means that you still are not being viewed until you actually click on the little drop down arrow next to the camera. And once you choose that option, you can click on connect my camera or start my camera, and then you can pop up. But you don't have to, it's not required. You can just chat. Okay? So what I want to do is go ahead and get started. I want to talk to you all about the 10-week schedule. Inside of Blackboard, there's a 10-week schedule that has the schedule of everything you'll be doing throughout the 10 weeks of this course. So that way you will know what will be due uh, throughout the course. So I'm going to go ahead and share my camera with you to bring up Blackboard and cover a couple of things inside of Blackboard with you guys. Okay. So at this time, you should be able to see my Blackboard shell and the 10-week due date schedule. This schedule is also listed inside of the course syllabus link here, but I put it on the outside also so you have easy access. So when you click on the 10-week schedule, it's going to scroll down here and you'll see everything that's due for the first for throughout the semester. What I do want to point out while I'm on here, if you notice week 2, 3, and 4, you'll be completing the chapter projects out of the textbook. The reason we're doing it out of the textbook because for my Word, the Microsoft Word section, Pearson, who owns the MyLab Plus, they did not include my files that I need for training and graders for my Word application. So what I did was to compensate for that. I said I will allow the students to do the assignments, the walkthrough assignments inside of the textbook. If you notice, each chapter start off with a project A, and then it has a second part, project B. So you would do complete that chapter out of the textbook, and you'll be submitted it in my inside of Blackboard. You'll only do that for the words chapters 4, 5, and 6. When you complete that chapter, we will then take the exam. You'll do the capstone project, and then you'll take the exam. When you take the exam on June the 19th, that is when you're going to actually go into lab, and you will go into MyLab Plus, and you'll be able to take the exam, uh, which will be multiple choice questions, and we'll talk about that when we get to the exam. And then after we're done with the Word chapters, from then on out with Excel and Access, we just pick up in lab doing the trainers and the graders in lab as you did in CPT 170. Again, the only reason we're doing it different with the Word is because the files were not available in MyLab Plus. Do you all have any questions about that? Um, Sharon, you said, would there be a link? Would there be a link to what? What are you asking? Okay. When it's time for you to submit the Microsoft Word assignment. Okay. When it's time to do the Microsoft Word assignment, yeah, it's inside of Blackboard. What you're gonna do? I already have the files available for you. So when you're going through the word exercises inside the textbook, when it asks you to open the files are available for you. What you're going to do for the word chapters, you're going to click on course content. And inside of course content, what you have, the very first is just an overview. So that's just for students who um, may have not taken the CPT 170 maybe a long time ago, and they want to get acclimated back with the office. It may have been a while. There's an overview where you can go inside that and kind of get caught up, but there's nothing to do inside that folder. But for those first three folders for Word, Project A and B, 5A and B and 6, all of the data files are there. So for example, you're going to click on Word Project 4AB, and it has an overview of what's going to be inside of the chapter, some of the objectives in the chapter. And here you will see the actual files you need. For example, you see the file for 4A and the two files you need to do Project 4B. You'll download each one of those files and start working out of the textbook. When it's time to submit the files, when you're completed, you're just going to click on this link and you will scroll down. We're going to click on Browse My Computer, and you'll browse out to the location of the file where you were working at, and you will just download that file. It'll populate inside of the system, and you will just click on Submit. Does that answer your questions? Good. And again, we'll be only doing that for Word chapters 4, 5, and 6. Yes. My account want to know, do you get multiple attempts? Actually, you can submit it twice, but I'm not like a stickler on that. So once you submit it, after you can submit it once, submit it twice. If you still feel like, oh, I could do better than this, then but you don't have any more submissions, you could just email me and I will allow you to have even more attempts. The reason I just set it at 2, because most people normally just do 2 attempts, but I will allow you more attempts as long as it's before the due date. I will allow you more attempts and you can complete that. Also, I want to yeah. Also, I want to also let you know, according to our department, we do have to list specified due dates. So because I have due dates in there and say will not accept late work, actually I do. That's just something that I had to put in there. But if there's a situation, I mean, I can be flexible as an instructor, but by my department guidelines, I had to put that in there. But if there's an issue or there's something coming up, you just need to email me and let me know, and I could allow you to make up the work. What I do want to do is be able to be flexible enough where you're able to complete the course. And I know you all have family, home, children, and probably all outside of this course. So if something come up and you're having a hard time with something, just let me know. Now, the grades inside of when you upload it inside of Word, the Word chapters 4, 5, and 6, it will not be automatically graded. I will have to hand grade those. And I'm really not a stickler on that. I could just kind of breeze through it. I know what the file is pretty much supposed to look like. So actually, you're going to do better, probably better with me than you do with MyLab Plus. If you all are familiar with MyLab Plus, you know it's real, strategic. And so when you start doing the Excel and the Access, then you'll start doing it inside of Lab, which the computer will be grading it. But I'm pretty good on grading. What I normally do with grading is I update grades every week on Monday because I want to give you a weekly feedback of where you are. So I say that to say if you haven't completed an assignment by that week, I do have to put a grade of 0 in there. Does not mean that you can't make it up. But what it does mean is you actually get to see your current grade. We have had incidents where was allowing students to make up work, so I left the grade blank, and they appeared like they may have had an A or B, but they were still missing some assignments. And then when you put the assignment in, their grade dropped down tremendously, and they didn't like that. So what I try to do is just update it every week, put your current grade in there, and if you happen to make up an assignment, their grade dropped down tremendously, and they didn't like that. So what I try to do is just update it every week, put your current grade in there, and if you happen to make up an assignment, then I will update your grade. Sharon, you want to know when the due date? The due date again are listed on the 10-week schedule. Here, over in the left side of the menu, on the blackboard, you have your 10-week due date schedule. When you click on the 10 weeks due date schedule, you will be able to see the due date for each assignment each week. So you see you have that first assignment that'll be due out of textbook on June the 5th. Well, to be honest, I'm not Jeffrey. As far as like, is it done by midnight? Is it done by 12? I'm not a stickler on the time. Uh, I will come in Monday morning, and on Monday morning when I come in into the office, I'll check and see if it's completed by then, and if so, it's completed. But again, it's very important if you had a problem, a technical issue, or something going on, you need to let me know by that Monday morning because you are a complete online class, which means your attendance is based on you completing an assignment. So I don't want to go in and mark you for absent for not completing this assignment and it was a technical issue. But I won't know unless you email me. I think that will be pretty fair. As far as Keith, you asked a question. Well, hold on. Before I get to you, Keith, let me just see. Jeffrey, did that answer? Okay, Jeffrey say okay. Sharon got it. Hold on, Danielle. Keith, you asked a question about tests and exam, which is another great reason why I wanted to do this online section. You have three tests, unit tests. You have a test on Word, a test on Access, and a test on Excel. They are 30 multiple choice questions. You will do those tests in My Labs Plus. Now, you will not have hands on in My Lab because that was another thing that Pearson didn't offer me with this 270 course. I don't have any hands on. So it'll be strictly um, multiple choice question, 30 multiple choice question for each test. Also, um, because you don't have the hands-on practice for a test, what you have is like a capstone project that you'll be doing in Blackboard. I'm going to show you that too. That way I get to see you know how to at least use the hands-on exercise doing your own project. I'll show you where that is in just a minute inside of Blackboard. Also, I'll show you where the study guide is for each test. Those 30 multiple choice questions, I already have it set up with the terminology that you'll need to know. So I have like the 30 terms you need to know. All you got to do is study before the test. You should do good. Danielle, does that answer your question, Keith? And no, you do not have to go to the testing center unless you choose to. All your tests will be taken at home, including your final. Also, you will have all the passwords for your tests. I'll show you where that is. So if you want to work ahead, you can. Okay, let's see. Danielle, no, none of the tests are hands-on. What you're gonna do, you have 30 multiple choice questions inside of My Lab Plus, and you're gonna do a project inside of the project is gonna be pretty much like a grader. If you're familiar with the graders inside of CPT170, you'll get your data files with your instructions, and you'll do that. The only difference is, again, you get me grading it instead of lab, and I'm really not really tough on the grading. Also, if you're having problems with a project, what I have decided to do, most people do pretty well, except when it's time to do that access project. So what I may do is the week before the access project is due, is do another online session for those who want to, and come in and do like a little mock uh, of that project to kind of help you out. If you have any questions, then we can do that. Okay. So do I have any more questions before I go further? I want to go in and okay, Danielle, how you suggest I study for the multiple choice? Uh, I'm going to show you in just a minute. That's what I'm going to show you inside of lab. But everybody good with the 10-week schedule where I'm at now? You see where I got this information, where you see what's due and where everything is located with the due date. So the next thing I'm going to do, okay, good. The next thing I want to show you is go back to course content. Remember course content, this is where uh, the files are for the Word. Notice that after the Word, when you scroll down, then you have the Word study guide. Here, there's a PDF file if you choose to print off. You can print that off, and it actually has your terminology that you need to know. I mean, it's really, it's really good. So you can just go in there and be able to see what you have to study. Okay. Now, when we get down to the Excel chapters and the Access chapter, again, you don't have to do them out of the book. But I have had some students who said that doing the practice out of the book actually helped them inside a lab. So I made those files available for them if you choose to. Remember, this is optional. It's not graded. The only thing that'll be graded out of this is the one that says highlighted. Notice that it says graded assignment and that it replaced the training material for lab in Word, but the rest of them are not graded. But here's your study guide for Word. If you scroll down, you see your study guide for Excel, and then you'll see your study guide for Access. Now, when it comes to the final exam is a gimme, guys, because what it is, it's going to be composed of 50 multiple choice questions, and all those questions come from your 3 previous exams. So all you need to do is study those back over. You should do good. Most people, normally I get like 90s and above on the finals. Yes, because this is an online class, you can take your final as early as you want to. The passwords are already available to you. I'm going to scroll up. When you get ready to go into lab, if you are familiar with CPT170, when you go in the lab, in the menu on the left, you'll see you can click a link that says password, and all the passwords before the course even started, you'll see all available passwords for each exam. So if you choose to work ahead, you can. You can work at your own pace. Those due dates are there to kind of smooth out the pace of the course. But if you want to work ahead and finish early, you have that option. Yes, after you finish your test inside of lab, when you complete a test, you can click on that actual test and right click, well, click on the little arrow beside it, and you'll see something that says view my submission. And when you view the submission, it'll bring up everything that you answered along with what you missed and with the correct answer. So that's why I said the final is really a gimme. And the exam and the finals are open book. Of course, you're taking it at home. I'm not going to be there, but it is open book. Most of my 270 students do well. I don't like say, well, you can't use the book, you can't use the book. What I want to do is make sure you understand what you're doing. You're going to go through enough practice to give you hands-on practice, so you will be learning a lot and you will be doing a lot. Doing the work itself will prove that you know what you're doing. A lot of the terminologies in the real world, you won't see those terms, but it's a part of the course. Also, I want to ask you all, if you do happen to email me, please email me from Blackboard using the student email link. The reason I ask you to use this link instead of just going outside and using something else, because when you send me emails, if you send it through using a student email link, I will receive the email and it'll automatically have what section and what course. A lot of times students send me email about an assignment or about their particular grade. They want me to check. And if I don't know, because I have other classes, I have to go through each class to find which class that student is in. But if you email me using the student email link, it will automatically come in with your student name, your ID, and what course and section you're in. Don't forget to go through the course syllabus. So have a look around there. Also, so any other questions inside of my lab? Plus, no, that's not the same as typing your name. Like if you were to go to the Google School email and typing your name in, I'll get it with your email, but I won't know like what section the student in. I don't get it that way. The only way I'll get it that show like CPT 270 section W01 is if you use this link in the inside. Okay? I'm going to stop sharing the Blackboard now and then go back to a couple of things I want to discuss. Um, the ISBN number in the textbook. I got a couple of students who were telling me, Miss Tucker, they sent me an email. They said, I saw in the syllabus that we had an ISBN number ending with number 1796. But when I went to pick up my book, it was a different ISBN number. It had 3512. Do I have the correct book? Yes, you have the correct book. The textbook are exactly the same, and I should have updated that to distinguish the difference. But your textbook, this is a textbook you all should have. It's the Go with Office 2013 Volume 2. Inside of the textbook, which we're going to talk about next, inside the textbook, I know that there is a gray tab here that says access code. But this is not truly your access code. If you read through, we have tried to ask Pearson to remove that so it doesn't confuse our students. But that is only an access code to allow you extra access to like videos, which we already have that available, but it doesn't give you access to lab for the actual course. So this is not the access code you would use inside of the book. So with the two ISBN number, the ISBN number that ends with 3512, which is the one that I included in the syllabus, it actually comes with an access code. But that's not the one the majority of the students are using. The other code is the one that does not come with an access code. The reason the majority of you do not need an access code is because most of you have already taken CPT 170 here at Greenville Tech. And if you have taken CPT 170 at Greenville Tech using the 2013 version of Office, that access code you use carry over to this book. So you don't need a second access code. You would only need to purchase an access code or get a book with an access code if you may have taken CPT 170 from another school and may have used another software and you transferred here and they just took your credits for the 170. Or it may be a situation where you had CPT 173 or 4 years ago using the earlier versions of Office 2010. In that case, you would need another access code. But the majority of you is normally 95% or more. Sometimes it's a full class, have already taken 170 within the year, and they don't actually need to purchase another access code. You should be able to sign in to lab using your GTC for Me username, and then putting in the default password 1. After you're in, you can change your password. So let me look at a couple of questions you all had. Let's see here. Okay, Michael, you said Michael, you said you got an access code with yours on a folding car stick. So you purchased an access code. So let me ask you something, Michael. Did you take CPT 170 using Office 2013 here at Greenville Tech? Well, if you took CPT 170, okay, spring, yeah. If you took CPT 170 during the spring, just last semester, you won't need to register again. You just log in and you should see the course. You may see your old course 170, and you'll see your new course, but you don't need another access code. So you know what? If I were you and you already have that access code, just don't open it because you don't need it. If I were you, I would take it back to the bookstore or either try to sell it to another student, as long as it's not scratched off. The only people that's going to need that access code are people, again, who may have taken Office 2010 maybe 3, 4 years ago, or people who may have taken 170 at another college or university and transferred here. Great. The next thing I want to talk to you about is can you pull your screen and show us how my lab should look when we log in? Yes, I will do that. I will do that. Let me see, do I have, hold on for me to see my open lab. Yeah. So you can access My Lab Plus from inside of Blackboard. It's not required, not necessary. But once you get to My Lab, I would suggest you to save it as a favorite. So that way you don't have to always come inside of Blackboard to access Lab. You can just access it as soon as you open up a browser. But over on your menu, you see here, there's a My Lab Plus login page. Scroll up. So you would click here. It'll automatically take you to Lab. Uh, it probably automatically just logged me in because I was already logged in. But what you would see is a username and password. You enter that and it'll let you in. But look like it kept my password. I must have saved it. It's taking a little while to load. But while it's taking its time to load, let me just see some more questions here. As far as the updates, uh, you shouldn't have to do, okay, let me log out of here. Hold on for a minute. I was having some problems with the log out. Thinking I log back in. There it goes. Are you guys still able to see my screen? Can you see my lab screen? Good. So you're going to see your course. Of course, this is for the summertime. If you notice, we had a little change. 2 weeks before class started, Pearson went in and they updated the login screen and the entry screen. So it looks a little different than what we had in 170. But once you log in with your username and password, this is the first screen you will see with your course listed. Of course, I have 3 courses because these are my 3 courses I'm teaching during the summer term. Go ahead and click on that course. And when you go in the course, if you're not using the same computer you used last semester or using a new computer or any time during the course, you happen to start to use a new computer, you will have to come in and do the browser tune-up. But if you have the same computer you had before when you took 170 last semester or even within the last 2 or 3 semesters, you should have to do the tune-up again. Only if you have a new computer or if you get a new computer in the future. Okay? So what you're going to do, you're going to click on assignments. And on your assignments, you're going to see whenever it comes up, my computer is a little slow, and it could be because I got a couple of stuff running here. you will see your weekly assignment. Okay. My pop up. Okay, let me allow my pop up. Hold on. Notice also I have available for you your e-text. So for those students who want to use the e-text is available for you for volume 2. I went ahead and made it available for my class. So you can access e-text here. This is the first chapter that had the office features. And notice you don't see anything about Word because again, we're doing all the Word out of the textbook. We're going to submit it in Blackboard. But here you will see the Word exam. And you click on the word exam and you'll be able to take the 30 multiple choice questions there. I'm going to go back to the main menu. Also, I put a weekly schedule due dates here inside of MyLab Plus, just as I did in Blackboard. I just got to go back and update it because I realized once I was in there today, I still had my old spring schedule. But I'll get it updated so it'll be updated to match exactly what's inside of lab. So I just wiped it all out. It's blank now, but I'm going to come back and update that. Here you will see the exam passwords. So, for example, we see our first exam is Word, and we see that the password is styles. So I can go and take the test, go back to assignments, and you'll see you'll be able to take the exam with all your passwords will be there up front. Okay. And of course, when you want to view your grades, now my view look a little different than your view. Now remember, because I am the instructor, I have a lot more in my menu. You don't have all this. But if you're familiar with lab, you know you have the things that you need. Like the managed course and all that, that doesn't apply to you. Communication to you won't see those. Um, Also, when it's time for you to see your grades, you'll just go down to grades, and then you're gonna click on custom view, and custom view, you will be able to see all your grades inside of lab. So here you'll see a list of each assignment, and to the right, your grades will be there. Keith, inside the announcement section, there is a document we have for those Mac users. I will tell you the Mac students that's using the Mac, you can use it, but they have ran into a little difficult times because some of the assignment, not many times, but there are assignments inside uh, a lab, for example, inside of Excel, it may ask you to use a shortcut key or use control something, and that shortcut key is different on a Mac. So people kind of ran into problems with that, but you could use an alternate combination, but you would have to know your own combination for the Mac because the way the textbook is written out, Pearson wrote it specifically for Windows. So inside of the announcement section, so make sure you all read the announcement. There's a document there for Mac students that have the alternative um, shortcut keys. Well, I really haven't had a lot of complaints. I have some students who have told me a few times, but not many, that they was having problems with the Mac, but they were able to get through it. Danielle, I see you said I froze. For the other students, are you able to see me? Let me go ahead and go ahead and stop sharing some of the screen. Make sure Good. Are you good now, Danielle? I think the I think the other students are able to see me, so it could be the speed on your end. But again, I am recording this meeting, so if you want to come back and watch it for the students who couldn't be here or may need to leave early, you can come back and maybe I've said something that you had answers to. I only have one more thing I want to discuss with you all, and then I'm going to allow you all to ask any questions that you choose. The other thing I want to talk to you about was Office 2013. Um, the course. In this particular course, we will be using Office 2013. Okay? Does not mean that you can't use Office 2010, the previous version, or Office 2016. I'm hearing a little background noise. I may need to get you to mute your speaker. A lot of times when you have multiple people in the room, if you have if you have noise in the background and someone talking, there's a lot of static going on. So if you will you all just mute your speakers for me? Just hover your mouse over your name, and you should get a pop-up box, and you're able to mute your speakers. Danielle, am I still going in and out? Think I'm good with if I'm good with everybody else, I'm thinking it's probably on your end, Danielle. So you may want to just if you want to reboot or you want to just kind of hold in there and bear with me. I only have one other topic I want to discuss, and we should be finished about 7:45. And after that, if you don't have any questions, you're free to leave the room. Okay. Again, with Office 2013, that is the version of Office that we'll use in this course. Now, if you use Office 2010 or Office 2016, that's fine. There will be not many times, less than 2% of the time, where it may ask you to use a feature that may not be available in 2010 or 2016 because we're focused on 2013. If that is the case, don't sweat it, don't get upset. Just let me know that hey, I wasn't like, for example, it may actually use a certain like a Solus theme, and you might like in my version it doesn't have that theme. Just use an alternative theme and keep it pushing. Let me know. I can credit you back. Also, I want to let you know as a student, I don't know if you knew this when you were taking 170 or if you knew this period, but as a student, Microsoft Office, they offer Office 2016 free to any student that has an EDU, an educational extension email. So you can go to Google or whatever search engine you use, type in the keywords Microsoft Office, free student download, and it will take you to this page. You will enter your email. You do have to remember you can't use your personal email. It has to be a school email. Once they pick up on your school email, it will generate a pop-up where you're able to download the executable file for Office 2016. You can run it and you can have Office 2016. And you can use that as long as you are a student here at Greenville Tech. Somebody asked, what about the shortcut keys? Uh, can you be a little bit more detailed for me? The shortcut keys for what and when? Okay. Yeah, that's what I was saying just a while ago. So if it asks you, well, here's the thing. When you're inside of lab doing a simulation, you get to use the simulation in lab. So it's okay. It doesn't matter because inside of lab it's set up with 2013. So you will be fine with that when you're doing your trainers. When it's time to do the graders, remember, you won't you don't have to worry about that because when the grader is actually done, you download graders outside of lab, do the work on your computer, and then submit it back up. So those shortcuts keys, as a matter of fact, there's nothing different with the shortcuts keys between 2010, 2013, and 2016. It's just some of the command features are different. Danielle, you said you ran into some problems. What you're talking about, you ran into a problem last semester with 170 with the shortcut keys using the control. That's if you're using a laptop. A laptop, you have to remember that a laptop is not a standard keyboard. So when you want to use your F keys, which are your special function keys, you have to use your FN key on the laptop. That has nothing to do with the versions of Office. That has to do with the type of laptop you have. So, for example, inside, if I had a standard keyboard with a desktop, if it asked me to hit F12 to open the Save As dialog box, if I were on my laptop, my F12 key will have to be used in conjunction with my FN key. Okay, what I'm going to do, I finished answering your question, but for those people who do not have any other questions, uh, if you choose to leave out, you can. Because we're done with what we need to cover. And we won't be meeting every week. I just did this for the first week to to kind of help everybody out who may have some questions. And I hope that this was helpful for you all. Again, no, we won't meet every week. This was just the first week to answer some questions for students getting started. But if I start getting a lot of emails, like people like having a real particular hard time, mostly like when it's time to do the capstone project, I will open up a meeting to answer some questions and show you a couple of things that you may be running into problems with. I will do that, but I'll let you know a week ahead of time, and it'll be optional. You're welcome. Well, if you guys don't have any more questions for me, um, you all have a good night. And I'm glad we're able to use this tool to answer some questions. And again, if you run into problems with the projects, I may set something up if I start getting a lot of emails to set up a session where I can kind of go through some of the steps to get you started. You all have a good night. Danielle, you asked a question. Uh, what do we what do we have to do this week? Is it just a two assignment at Office 2013? This week your homework was I think if I can remember on the due date schedule, you basically this week was a freebie. Freebie. It wasn't, nothing, just a syllabus acknowledgement quiz. Send me your contact information. Syllabus acknowledgement quiz is ten questions. where you agree to the syllabus and you ask them some basic questions and just send me your contact information. The majority of you have already done that. So this is like a week to kind of, this is your easy week. There's nothing much. Next week you start, after Monday, you're starting your book, and your homework for that next Sunday will be that chapter 4. Exactly, just what's on the syllabus. And you can, if you want to get ahead, that will be fine. If you work ahead, depending on how busy I am, I do go in and try to grade every Monday, update the grades by Monday. But if you're working ahead, I'm going to get those that are due that week. And if I have time, somebody who's maybe 2 weeks ahead of time, if I have time, I'll go look at it and grade it. Does that answer your question, Danielle? I see Tamika is typing. Danielle, did that answer your question? Danielle, I see you must have got booted out or stuck and you logged back in a second time, but that's fine. But did I answer your question? Tamika, if we need you for a video chat about an assignment, will you be available or through email? Do email because I won't be in video chat all the time. Email me, and I can most of the time I can answer you through email. But what I will share with the class, Tamika, I know you came in a little late. What I will share with the class is I have set off a block of time on Wednesday between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m. Where I'm going to be in the meeting room every week for 2 hours just to answer random questions if you need it. I set that time up just for you guys because you are online class. And I wanted to do something where there's more interactive with the instructor and online students to kind of give you a little bit more hands-on with the instructor. So I have that period set up for you. But if I can help you through email, that will be your email me and I'll be able to help you. But if there's something going on and we can't get through email or we can't answer through email and we may have to set a time and we can meet through this using this tool, yes, that will be that will not be a problem if I'm able to at that time. Does that answer your question, Tamika? Danielle, how do I go back? to watch. Oh, to watch the meeting, the recording again. Uh, I will send you the link. I'm still on it, so I haven't stopped the recording yet. So once I'm recording it as we do the class, but once everybody log off, I'll stop the recording. I'll save it, and I will send you that link. It's about 4 minutes till. We have about 4 minutes, and we'll be wrapping up. You have any more questions for me? Have a good night, Danielle. Have a good night, Tamika.